Sports. Ian Rapoport. I told you guys, the shift is coming. The shift is happening when the talking points start wearing off. See, when you're early in the offseason, everybody looking for storylines. Everybody looking for stories. But when you start to go back and look at the film, you start to actually really get into it. People are starting to be more and more realistic about what Deshaun Watson did last year and what he's going to look like this year. Ian Rapoport, and this is courtesy of my people over there at Sports for CLE. Shout out to them over there. Make sure you subscribe to that channel. Great Browns content, Guardians, all the way around. Make sure you check those guys out. But he's on. Ian Rapoport is talking about, Deshaun Watson. He expects him to be a lot better. And for the sounds of what he's saying, it don't look like he still thinks that Deshaun Watson played horrible all them games.
Time has kind of moved on. He's gone down the quarterback ranking for highest paid. Now the 8th highest paid quarterback. So not a bargain by any means, but certainly not as crazy expensive as it was as far as the fully guaranteed deal. Quarterbacks almost never get cut. They actually get traded. So it's not like that if something terrible happened, the contract would stand in the way. But here's the other caveat. Before he got hurt last year, before he had that very strange shoulder injury that he actually played through, let it come back during, and then had surgery ending his season afterward, he was playing really well. He was showing signs of being that quarterback that they traded for, being that franchise superstar guy. Does sound like his rehab has gone well. It sounds like, if anything, they've had to pull him back. I expect him to be like his old self in training camp and finally pay off that big-time contract that the Browns gave him.
Listen, and shout out to Sports for CLE. That clip was courtesy of them. And I'm going to tell you what, Ian Rapoport, out of all of the people, Rich Eisen has started to slowly but surely come around. You start to see guys like Ian Rapoport slowly but surely kind of like tiptoeing around and putting their foot in the water and testing it out. But the reality of it is, you go back and watch, and by the way, I've always done this. I've watched every single snap Deshaun Watson has taken 4 times. See, I actually be doing the work. I actually be up in the hot tub time machine just looking, just like, okay, well, and when you go back and watch these plays, there are some throws that he wants back, but overall, this notion that he played the worst football people have ever seen is completely false. That is hyperbole. It is not like that. And you just heard him say it. When you take a look at it, he was playing his best football against the Baltimore Ravens on the road. He was 5-1 when he started. And you go back and watch some of these games. He played very well against the Cardinals, played very well against the Tennessee Titans, played very well against the Baltimore Ravens. You take a look at these games, and people are saying it's the worst he's ever played and blah, blah. Listen, come on, man. Are you taking the talking points or are you really looking at it? Because when you go back and look, he did not play that bad. Is he up to the expectation levels of what we're talking about? Is he up to the expectation levels of where he was before with Houston? No. But I think he's saying here is he's trending towards that way. He's trending towards there. Right now, Deshaun Watson, he said it earlier, it was a Freudian slip. The team got on him and said, listen, no, I'm be here. Listen, we want to under promise and over deliver. Right. We want to really dial that back a little bit, because Deshaun Watson said, oh, I'm ready to go game 1. I'm ready to go. They said, we're not going to do that. Just take it easy, big fella. When you watch him in practice, he's throwing the ball. He's ready to go. He's ahead of schedule. He does not have any pain in the shoulder. So with that being said, you expect him to be fully ready to go, fully healthy, ready to get it jumping. And once again, one of the things that we talk about is relationships matter, right? Relationships sure do matter. You say, dang, boy, this boy G. Bush, man. What you mean? How does this apply with Deshaun Watson? Well, here's the thing. The reason Deshaun Watson doesn't get the benefit of the doubt in his timetable is sped up is all based on relationships. You have to look at the lack of relationships and the endearment between the Cleveland Browns fan base and Deshaun Watson. The reason we have not given him that benefit of the doubt, such as we give to Baker or guys that you drafted, is because he wasn't homegrown here. We didn't draft him. We went out and made made a trade for him, and he has not delivered the level of dividends. Right? It's the wins and losses. How many exciting wins has he give you? How many comeback wins has he given you in Cleveland Brown Stadium? How many blowout wins has he given you in Cleveland Brown Stadiums? How many AFC championship games have he given you? How many 4 or 5 touchdown games has he given you? How many, you see what I'm saying? It's just the relationship ain't there. Look, I'm going to just tell you like this, man. Listen, I had a K1 visa, man. K1 visa means you got to marry 90-day fiance. That was me. I met my wife. I proposed while I was in Manila. She's from the Philippines. Shout out to her. Guess what? We had one date. We had a couple of dates. Then guess what? I had to come back to the United States, continue my job, and start the K1 visa process. Now, the K1 visa process usually takes, we got to the first part, but we happen to have a thing called COVID. So the whole world was shut down. So for the time period that I went and proposed, started our paperwork, it was 2 years by the next time I saw her. Now, if I'm living with somebody and I'm every day around them and everything, I can have arguments, right? We can have, disputes because I see you, we can make up, everything's cool. But it's a little bit different when you ain't got that relationship, that basis. You ain't got a base. You ain't been on dates. You ain't had your first argument, and you only seen them like 5 times. Matter of fact, you don't even know kind of what they look like, really, if it wasn't for the technology. Relationships matter. So it's easier for guys to get along when you're right in the same proximity. It's easier when you got that relationship and basis, right? You can get over small stuff. You can get over that, right? But if you ain't got none of that basis, if you ain't got none of that stuff that keep you together, that experience, the hard times, the good times, the bad times, all of the years and time put into the relationship, regular stupid conversations and dumb arguments can derail your whole relationship. Same thing with Deshaun Watson. We was up and down with Baker. We was up and down with Colt McCoy. We was up and down with Derek Anderson, Brady Quinn, all them guys on the back of the jersey. You've seen it, Tim Couch. We had history with them because we started off, we met them on a dating app, and we eventually married them by drafting them. But here's the thing. We gave those guys the benefit of the doubt and time to get it done because we had the relationship. We had that. Deshaun doesn't have that. But I will say this. The great thing about relationships, time is a great equalizer in life. Time helps you get over and heal old wounds, tragedies, losing people. Time also gives you an opportunity to build and reconstruct faith and trust in people once they broke your trust. And so when you got Deshaun Watson, he has an opportunity with time, energy, effort, and playing football correctly and playing football and giving us those moments, those memories. Even Facebook understand that. Look how what keep you on Facebook. They notice that, hey, let's throw some memories up there to show you, hey, this is what you was doing in 2005 or in 2006 and 2010 and 2015. You're like, wow, man, that's crazy. I've been on this app that many years. Yeah, look how many people you done came and gone. Look how many girlfriends that go, hey, you might have had kids by then. You got married, had kids, got a new house, and they gave you all those pictures. Those things build history and memory with you. So that's why you stay on Facebook. Even though you may not think it's the greatest app in the world, everybody keeps it. Why? Because it's history. It's history involved. So Deshaun Watson, all you got to do is give us some memories. Let's start making them. How's about game 1 against the Dallas Cowboys? Right? How's about that? And history is a funny thing. Time heals all wounds, right? Even the national media is starting to come around. Last year, they didn't want us on TV. First game, we got the Cowboys in Cleveland. They could have went a lot of other directions. You know what that tells me? Time is healing stuff. You know, for a while, those Cleveland Browns, people was picking them to come in last in every single poll he created. You know why? Because people didn't like Deshaun Watson. It was fresh, and they didn't want nothing to do with the Cleveland Browns. Now, starting to see people like Ian Rapoport get real about the situation. You're seeing guys like Rich Eisen start to get real about what was happening on the field and what's to look forward to. So, when we talk about it, time is the great equalizer, right? And it's time for Deshaun Watson to start building those relationships. If he builds that relationships and give us great memories by coming out here and leading a game-winning drive against the Dallas Cowboys, or coming out here giving us 4 or 5 touchdowns, giving us coming from behind wins, giving us those big 40-point games, giving us those electric moves in the pocket, moving, dipping, diving, not letting people sack him, extending plays, throwing the ball. Listen, come on. Those memories will keep people endeared, and those memories will establish a relationship. So when adversity does hit, you have something to cash in and say, remember that one time though? Remember when remember that? I'm playing bad, but you can always remember. And I gave you memories when you know that this is just a little blip on the radar. We can continue to get this done.